Today's cardinal lesson is about a do-over with Social Security. So when you look at the range of ages when you can start your Social Security, 62, 66, or 70, or somewhere in between, of course, the common wisdom is it's best to start at age 70. Delay it as long as you can. That way you're going to get the most, right? Well, actually, not always. For some people, yes. Let's go to the other extreme. A lot of other folks are in the other camp where I'm starting my Social Security as soon as I can get it. And the reason I'm doing that is a bird in the hand's better than two in the bush. So isn't that right? Well, no, not exactly. There's some mistakes in all of those things, and just using one point to make your decision. I have a client who, a couple, and she is 65, just turned 65 in March. She bought a Medicare supplement insurance from us, and she was just retiring. Her husband is just 60, still working, and she said, well, I don't have much of a Social Security check. It's only $388 a month, but you know what? I'm going to go ahead and take that because I just retired from my part-time job, and it's better than nothing, so go. She made a good decision? Maybe, but I'm going to advise her in short order here to do a do-over with Social Security because she's only collected March, April, and I guess she's already got May, so she's only collected 3 months of it. And by the time we ran all the numbers and everything, when he turns 62, which will be in October of 2022, he's going to be eligible to start Social Security early. And you might say, well, bad decision, because it would be better for him to wait longer, because the longer I wait, the more I get, except for the fact that his wife is 4 years older than him, or 3.5 years or 4 years, whatever. And so she has compromised her position a bit by starting her little check early, because once he files, she's going to be eligible for a $1,300 a month benefit based as the spouse of a person with a much higher earnings record. It's a little complicated, but it's a situation where I'm going to advise her to do a do-over. You can think of a school teacher that's a client of a few years ago, and she retired at 63. And we did a lot of math and a lot of things because she didn't have a lot of money. She wasn't very low on money either. It's kind of a tight squeeze that she wanted to retire early and collect. Plus she just was a little burnt out on teaching. So we started her Social Security check, and then about 6 months afterward, the school called her up and said, hey, we miss you. We really need you. How about coming back to work? And she did. And so you got all kinds of problems with that, of starting Social Security early, before full retirement age, and then now you're collecting income from work and the give back and all that. Because she was in her first year, we did a do-over. So let's talk about this do-over thing. First of all, why would you want to do a do-over? I mean, I've already gone over some of this. You lack good advice. Is that a lot of folks make their Social Security decisions on a whim, or they think that it's tied to whenever you retire, that's when you can start Social Security. And it doesn't have to be, it can be, but you could delay it. Some people have a client that retired at like 68, and she could have started it a few years earlier while she was working. Would have been correct, she wouldn't have had to give any of it back. Now, it worked out that wouldn't have been the best decision, but people make the Social Security decisions without really getting good advice just about Social Security, and then we need to look at your whole other situation, your other finances, what other money you could collect while you're delaying. There's so much involved in this, so if somebody started it, you did it without good advice, and now you want to do a do-over, as long as you meet the rules, which we'll go over in a sec. So that's personal circumstances change. People, after they started early, and then all of a sudden somebody passes away, maybe their spouse passes away, or they get a divorce, or they get called back to work like the lady. I mean, just personal circumstances change. You're still in that first year of when you made a decision, you might want to consider a do-over. And as we said, you went back to work. So what are the rules of this? I mean, so it's officially called with Social Security the withdrawal of the application. So that's the official term, and you have to apply for it. And, certainly we can help you with that. There's a form that you fill out. You do it online, and you're applying, and you say, hey, listen, I want to do a do-over or a withdrawal of application. And it needs to be within 12 months of when you first started Social Security. So you got to be in that first year. You can only do this one time in a lifetime. So when you do a do-over, so you get a do-over, they're not telling you when you have to start it again, but if you start it again, you can't do another do-over after that. So it's just one time. And the other ones, you got to pay the money back. So this lady getting the $388 check for 3 months is going to have to pay him about $1,000, $1,100. And she can afford to do that, and it's going to make things a lot simpler in a year and a half when we apply him for Social Security, and we're managing a good bit of their money and positioning it so that they're going to have a nice, happy retirement and an income from Social Security and an income with pulling money out of their IRA, and really going to pay low taxes. So there's a lot hinging on this do-over for her. Now, I went over just briefly your choices and your ranges of ages. Is it really, you've got a choice to start your Social Security anytime between 62 and 70. And if you count the months, because any month in between those ages, there's 96 months or 96 different dates that you could start Social Security. So just to go to an assumption like, oh, I'm going to do it here, or I'm going to do it here, look, it takes a little bit of planning because this is a decision and it's going to affect the money you're receiving for the rest of your life. I'm Hans Scheil, and I thank you for listening.